in midwifery, which again, in my mind, a midwife is a lady. You know, that's how I would see it, but he is a pioneer. After looking at these items that belong to Goldie, in my mind it connects back to Craig House, because I was definitely sensing, not just with Evelyn, not just with Vanessa's grandmother, I was sensing a connection there with women, a connection there which would be called women's hysteria, which would be due to their menstrual cycles, their hysteria, their hormones. And I feel he must have been involved in some way, so he must have travelled to Craig House and done some work there, or been some sort of supervisor. There's definitely a connection with Goldie and Craig House. As I see him in my mind, he has Vanessa's grandmother Evelyn in his arms, so he sees himself as rescuing her from that place. I don't feel unnerved by him necessarily. I certainly wouldn't want him to touch my body with the things that I've seen, but I don't get any negative sense really with either of them. He rescued her, that's how he saw it, and she was grateful to be out of there.
To sum up the findings of the investigation, TJ meets with Vanessa at the Royal College of Surgeons in Edinburgh.
I have to say, Vanessa, looking into your family's history has been very interesting, because it's a story within a story.
It's rather confusing really, because there's so much between me and the images I'm seeing, and me and these photographs. It's like it stretches back and there's so much confusion.
One of the things that Tony and Colin found was interesting around your great-grandmother, and the fact that they both believed her life was taken from her by some form of poisoning.
She's given me the smell of amyl nitrate.
Poison, liquid medicine, but that which is lethal.
Colin and Tony both feel that your great-grandfather was responsible for your great-grandmother's death.
It could have been made to look like suicide.
Poison was administered to her by her husband, George.
Some of the other things that were found and were brought up that perhaps didn't want to mention was the fact of the incest. Tony very much sensed that and felt that, but didn't really want to say it.
I have a feeling also that at some point Evelyn had carried her father's child.
Because obviously it's very difficult when you're dealing with relatives, and that is almost like a taboo, isn't it, to talk about that.
And I feel that her father put her in a space as a punishment to her. It was his fault entirely.
Do you understand the names George and Michael, even if I wanted to put them together? Because while I'm standing here, I have a lot of George Michael songs singing in my mind, and that's how Spirit will use that. But George Michael, I want to put them together.
That is my great-grandfather's name.
Because that's very much the name. I can hear George Michael's songs singing in my mind.
Yeah.
Spirit will bring that to me to be able to say a name to you.
Yes.
We have got to go back to the very beginning.
It's George and Elizabeth. That's the basis of death and murder and confinement and unjust things.
And that is a good teamwork again from the spirit world. You know, they are bringing this evidence to us so that we can bring it to you, so that we can perhaps clear this from you. But overall, I'm very pleased with what we found. I'm very surprised by linking in a psychometric way with your grandfather's things. That totally surprised me. I didn't expect that at all. This man is generations away from me, and he's looking at my bits, you know. But again, it's the way of spirit working through us, allowing us to see. The women in your family, Vanessa, have had to hold in their emotion. I still feel that there was a sense of this, not so much a curse, but like a black shadow over your family. It's like this darkness around the heart that's been passed on for years, in tears that haven't been cried. Which I feel that by you working on this, you've cleared for your family. You know, in a way, your grandmother, as we said, was, when I worked with you before, was very pleased that you were looking at her case. You know, somebody was championing her. You know, that's how I feel. And those words from that letter come into my mind.
I intend making a jolly good old row.
It's almost like you're taking on those words. It's going to be a jolly good row because you want the truth. I can hear that very clearly from her. But thank you so much for letting us come into your life.
Thank you so much. It's really helped.
Very welcome.
Private eyes.